Hey guys, welcome to July. We are in probably one of the most significant months of our entire year this year in terms of action happening and pressure building and changes underway. There is a lot of intensity going on this month. There is a lot of realignments. There are perhaps a lot of unexpected things happening and some very, very dynamic and combustible energy that is pushing for change. There are also a lot of themes surfacing in regards to the home and the family, juxtaposed to power and control dynamics, authorities, asserting power, or being like over domineering. And a lot of this energy is seeking rectification at this point in time as well. We are entering a period right now that is marked by rebellion and revolution in kind of like the most pure sense of the word. There is a reinvigoration of the human revolutionary spirit that is underway right now, and it is driving to some major changes as humanity collectively is seeking freedom of self-expression and action in a way that is conducive to organic growth. There's a lot to talk about going on in the chart this month. We have an aspect building over the course of the entire month that will begin coming exact on July 31st, the last day of this month. That is a once in 2,300 year transit. Very significant energy that is playing out right now, and by the time we get to the end of this month, things are likely to feel and look and act much differently than they probably are to begin this month. So let's begin. Let's look day by day, sort of, and point out the significant transits that are underway and just sort of give ourselves a preview of what is coming at us throughout the course of this really wild and intense month of July. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today is July 1st, 2022. My name is Aubrey, and this is your July overview rundown. What do we have going on in July? What is this month doing for us? What are we likely to experience? What energy, what transits, what activations do we have coming in? And what can we generally expect in terms of the way things are likely to play out? This month is wild. Like, this is some really big time astrology. Like I said, this aspect that we are building into all month long, the last time that happened was literally like 2,300 years ago. So we are definitely talking about some real paradigm shifting stuff. And this aspect that I'm talking about actually has to do with the planet Uranus as well, which is ruling the age of Aquarius. So this month in our 222 year, this month of July is definitely a turning point, a pinnacle moment, I guess we could say, in our collective energetic transition into the age of Aquarius. Some big things are likely to start happening. This is like, it's not necessarily like this month everything is just going to like explode, although it might, but it's sort of like this, whatever is happening, whatever is transpiring is sort of like the last straw, or that like broke the camel's back, you know what I mean? Or it's like a trigger that is going to cause some other radical changes to happen moving forward into the future. But I can tell you guys, because this is a Uranus aspect that we are talking about and that we are building into, and I'm going to get into talking all about it, it is leading to something that will be more liberating and more in alignment with authentic truth and organic growth that helps us bridge and transition into this new paradigm. Whatever is happening, whatever is transpiring over the course of this month, be it as messy or uncomfortable as it may seem, actually is going to turn into one of those silver lining moments, blessings in disguise, that when we look back in retrospect at this period of time, we will be like, that's what did it. That's what made it happen. That is the thing that caused the changes that led to the sequence of events that ended up putting things into such a better place and like bringing me to this much better moment in my experience. Like, that is the type of stuff that is coming throughout this month. And the progression of energy is building all month long. There's an emphasis on Mars going on as well. We begin the month with an exact Mars transit. We end the month with an exact Mars transit. As we begin this month, Mars is in the sign of Aries, his home sign. Very strong, very powerful, pioneer, warrior, spiritual warrior, actually, too. Spiritual warrior for truth, with Jupiter also in the sign of Aries right now. And building throughout the course of this month, Mars will move into the sign of Taurus. That is where this Mars-Uranus North Node conjunction, that is our climax this month, and actually one of the most significant aspects this year is occurring. It is occurring in the sign of Taurus, and this is going to bring some financial issues, some resource, some supply chain based issues, some value based issues, but it is also going to do a tremendous amount to wake us up to our personal potential and actually help us move in a direction that is using that more and being less reliant on sort of outsourcing the various facets and faculties of our lives. There is a shift going on this month from outsourcing to producing, to like insourcing. We are this transition, whatever we are building into, whatever's going on, I feel like is going to create a ripple effect or a shift or like a domino effect, I guess we could say, that is going to create a transition from, again, like seeking to fill our needs externally to really coming back to a place where we are being the generators of our own whatever we need to fulfill our needs. You know what I mean? And as a part of this, like I said, there is a major Pluto dynamic and component that is playing out all month long as well. We have a lot of energy in the sign of Cancer this month. Of course, you know, the sun is in Cancer. We are in Cancer season. As we get towards the end of July, we will have our new moon in Leo. The sun will move into Leo as well, and we will start Leo season. So July is sort of, you know, it is encapsulating the majority of Cancer season and just the very beginning of Leo season. But because of all the Cancer energy in the position of Pluto right now in the end of Capricorn, this is definitely bringing up, in Cancer, this is ruled by the moon. It rules the home and the family and our roots and our origin and the how we nurture and how we care for and how we feel supported. And Pluto is power and control, and in Capricorn, power and control structures that have been in place for long periods of time. And as a part of this more shift that I feel like is going on from us relying more on what society can provide to relying more on like what we ourselves can produce, I feel like this is also highlighting this home family power structure dynamic that is playing out this month as well. Home and family versus the existing power structures and the breakdown of those power structures and the realignments of a lot having to do with the Taurus-based issues, resources, supply chains, food, comfort, material support. These type of things are where I feel like the highlight and the prominence is going to be throughout the course of this month. And of course, like I said, from start to finish, what is being indicated by the aspects in play are rebellion and revolution. Like we are in a time where the individual revolutionary spirit is being reawakened in order to seek a path forward or a way of self-expression or an ability to embody an authentic truth. No more false pretenses, no more illusion or fantasy or projection or false ideals that we are trying to sort of mold or fit ourselves into. This is a time, you guys, we are entering a time that is about activating our destiny and rising into our true potential and allowing our individual light to shine to contribute to the illumination of the entire collective. And we can't do that if we are molding ourselves into the ideals or aspirations or views or visions of those around us or others, or sacrificing our own self-worth or our own power, our own self-empowerment in order to receive some type of safety or security or acceptance or respect or recognition or something like that. Like, these are the type of things that are shifting and changing throughout the course of this cycle, and we are moving away from surrendering our power in order to have our needs met in a way that doesn't rock the boat, to taking our power back and no longer accepting anything that separates us from our personal truth and our ability to, again, like stand in that, embody it, and activate our potential. So this is sort of what we have going on all month. Now, the major transits, I'm going to talk about some very highlighted days that we have this month as well, but the major transits, the big time ones that we have playing out are, to start the month, like I said, we have Mars in an exact square to Pluto. Then we have a full moon that is going on in Capricorn. This is also going to be in a relatively tight conjunction with both Pluto and Mercury, and a trine to the nodes of the moon. This is going to be a really powerful full moon that is again bringing up these power struggle and dynamics in regards to home and family, and also the power structures and establishments, and perhaps some very powerful news or information coming through. We have a lot, like I said, of Sun, Mercury, Pluto energy that is playing out throughout the course of this month. And then also, ultimately, we are building into this Mars North Node Uranus conjunction in the sign of Taurus that is going to be, it's really activated between July 22nd and August 15th, but it will come exact. Mars will move to the degree where Uranus and the North Node are on July 31st, and then to start our month of August, this will be exact to the minute. So those are really like the big time aspects that we have playing out. I forgot to say, we do have a new moon in Leo that is going on in between that time as well. The new moon in Leo is on the 28th and the full moon is on the 13th. So that is basically the breakdown of the major energy that we have coming in. Now let's talk about some significant days that are playing out throughout the course of this month. First of all, like I said, to start our month on July 1st, this is a really big day. This is a very significant day. We have Mars coming into an exact square with Pluto in the signs of Aries, Mars in Aries, and Pluto in Capricorn. We're also going to have Mercury and an exact trine to Saturn on that day, and the moon is going to be in Leo, forming a trine to Jupiter. So this is a very fiery, heated, passionate energy that we are dealing with to start the month of July. And we're talking about Mars in the sign of Aries. We're talking about Pluto in the sign of Capricorn. This is revolutionary energy on its face value in and of itself, without even taking into consideration the extreme revolutionary energy that we are building into at the end of the month with the Uranus-Mars North Node conjunction. I mean, Uranus rules the sign of Aquarius, which is the sign of the revolutionary, the sign of the rebel. And Pluto right now, you guys, like, this is just a monumental period and point in time. Like, it just is. There's no other way to get around it. Pluto right now is at the degree where it was for the formation of the United States, July 4th, 1776. Pluto was at 28 degrees of Capricorn. Pluto right now is at 28 degrees of Capricorn. This is the United States Pluto return. Pluto is the Phoenix rising energy. Pluto brings death and rebirth, destruction, purification, regeneration. It's ultimately an extremely deeply purifying, regenerative, and healing energy, but it breaks things down that aren't working anymore so that they can grow and evolve into a new and better level. And when we have a Pluto return going on, this is a Phoenix moment. This is a redo. This is a reignition of the original revolutionary spirit across the collective of humanity that sparked the formation of the United States and the American dream in the first place. This is where we're coming back to. This is how we're starting our month. And then leading into the end of the month, we are ending it with Mars in the conjunction to the planet of revolution and rebellion himself, leading into this age of Aquarius, ruling this age of Aquarius. And Mars in square to Saturn. Mars rules the youth. Mars rules things that are new and excited and motivated and inspired and fired up. Pluto rules power. In Capricorn, Pluto rules power and control structures and dynamics of the past. Capricorn rules time. It rules long-standing orders of things, established things, things that have been around for the ages, the test of time. And with Pluto right now, at the degree of the United States return in the sign of the United States natal return in the sign of Capricorn, This is breaking down power and control structures and dynamics of the past. Mars in the sign of Aries, Mars very empowered in his home sign of Aries. This is the pioneer. This is the warrior. Like I said, this is that inspiration and motivation and passion to launch forward, to get ahead, to act in some type of a way. And Mars rules the youth, the more youthful energy, the warrior energy. Capricorn, Saturn, this is like the old general. Like this is the much more mature like leadership type of energy. And so we have the warrior juxtaposed in the square, building tension, friction, frustration, conflict for the purpose and point of resolution into something. I almost said revolution again. With Pluto in Capricorn. This is, like I said, a revolutionary energy, taking action to assert ourselves and our independence over long-standing established power and control dynamics. And remember how I was also talking about how this Pluto in the end of Capricorn at the USA natal degree is getting activated by the planets transiting Cancer all month long too, ruling the home and the family. There is something going on in the field all month where the family and power and control systems, dynamics from the past are not getting along, are not on the same page, are not meshing well together. In fact, to the point that could really create some type of volatility or conflict or explosive fights or, I don't know, guys, stuff like that. We are in this revolutionary energy. This is the new versus the old, the human spirit versus systems of control, the individual versus the establishment, individual will versus established order. It really sort of makes me think of, I've been reading this book to my son. It's called A Wrinkle in Time. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that book. It's like quite an old book. It was one of my favorite books when I was like a little girl. But there is this part in the book where these children are on this planet that is controlled by essentially this like central brain, and everything in there's no free will at all. Everything and everyone on this planet is controlled by the rhythms and the tempos and the like what is set by this centralized brain. And it's called a dark planet. And essentially like these children come to this planet and their job is to, first of all, they're trying to like free their father, but essentially what they're doing is trying to like help this planet break free from this centralized intelligence, like this centralized brain. And it makes me like that, to me, is like a very good sort of example of Mars in a square to Saturn, in Mars in Aries in a square to Saturn and Pluto. It's like this long standing regimes of power and control that have been trying to create order and structure across like a collective in a very dominating and domineering way that stifles out the human spirit and individuality. And then this like fresh new warrior type energy, in almost like youthful type energy coming through and just busting it up and upsetting like all of the status quos and creating like this revolution that leads to the end of the system of power and control. Like I said, like I don't know if you guys have read that book or heard of that book, but it's a really good book. And I just feel like that scenario from that story to me is like sort of a good way of describing this Mars in Aries forming the square to Pluto in Capricorn at this point in time. Like we are saving the planet from the darkness as we transition into the age of Aquarius, and it's happening through this awakening. And we're talking about Uranus building into a conjunction with Uranus all month as well, this awakening of the collective human spirit that is in alignment with the true and authentic needs of humanity, and that is not taking this like cold, automated, like structured, controlling approach to things anymore, that like lacks the freedom of individual self-expression. Like we're not all being molded into the same box anymore. Like we're getting back in touch with the truth and the beauty and the unique individuality and the talent and the potential and the resources within us that are associated with that. And we are breaking out of our own box. We are breaking out of our own matrix. We are shifting our own paradigm. And things might get a little ugly. Things might get heated. There may definitely be some conflict on the horizon over the course of, this month, heading into August. The first 2 weeks, I will tell you, of this month are much more calm than the last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks of this month are really, really fiery and intense, but the first 2 weeks are a little bit quieter. Anyways, to start the month, July 1st, this is really significant. Like I said, this Mars-Pluto square. We also have Mercury in the trine to Saturn. This is our mind getting on board in alignment with the restructuring that is going on inside of us in terms of like our goals, our vision for the future, the type of life we want to build for ourselves, like our inner landscape, like our inner world. Whatever is going on with our thoughts and our mind today, there's an alignment between the karmic changes as well, the changes that are going on within us, the karma that we are breaking through and clearing right now, and it may be what is sort of inspiring us to face the darkness. Like that's really what this is. Like that is the warrior, Mars square Pluto, that is like the warrior having the courage to face the darkness. Also kind of like bringing in some like Lord of the Rings or some Harry Potter themes. Like we could look at it a lot of different ways, but that's what this is. So July 1st, very significant day, you guys. Also, before I move on, I need to say the moon in Leo will also be forming a trine to Jupiter in Aries on July 1st as well. This is expanded, hugely expanded emotional energy. So we are definitely having a fire lit up underneath us. This could lead to some very heated conflicts and fights, you guys. We really want to be using this energy in terms of creative transformation that we have playing out on July 1st, because honestly, like it just like things could get a little bit violent, things could get a little bit ruthless and a little bit just overly heated. The moon and Jupiter, this is just expansive passion, expanded fire, expanded emotion, like very just motivated and courageous and inspired. Like we're ready to fight. Like we're willing to fight and we're willing to stand up for our freedom, for our truth, for our right to be ourselves happening in the sign of Aries, and our right to take action, our right to move forward, our right to be independent, our right to cut ourselves free from these oppressive systems and stuff like that. Like that is what is going on to start our month, the 1st of July. So a very intense day. And again, like engage in creative activities, work out, like be outside, like stay out of the drama, stay out of the conflict, don't poke the bear. Like that is not what we want to be doing. We want to be using this energy to recreate various aspects of our lives in accordance to this inner restructuring, especially on a mental level that is going on with Mercury and Saturn in this trine as well on the 1st. Let's talk about the next significant day we have coming up. That is going to be on the 5th of July. We are going to have Mercury moving into Cancer, and on the same day we're going to have Mars moving into Taurus. So July 5th is going to mark a pretty significant energetic shift. Our mind is going to move from Gemini, very strong Mercury in Gemini, into Cancer. The mental focus is going to be a lot more on our meeting our needs and our safety and our security and, nurturing, caring, having compassion and empathy for others. And Mars moving into the sign of Taurus. This is a palpable shift as well. This is us sort of being motivated and inspired to develop our potential or to create something or to build something or to use our energy in a creative way that is helping to like stabilize our environment in some type of a way. Or, people could definitely be like putting energy into like building, creating, growing things as well while we have the Mars moving into Taurus. But this could also be heating up any type of like financial issues that are sort of like causing problems right now, like some fights or conflicts going on in the realms of partnerships, relationships, financial agreements, starting around July 5th and carrying through the rest of the month. But this is going to be if these things are out of alignment with authenticity. Anything that is out of alignment with authenticity, you guys, is not going to make it probably through this month, or, if it does make it through this month, it's probably not going to make it through the rest of the summer or at most the rest of this year. Mars coming into the sign of Taurus, where Uranus is right now, is, I feel like, going to start heating things up and creating conflict around things that are out of alignment with authenticity and that are preventing or limiting organic growth in any type of a way. The next significant day that we have coming is going to be on July 9th. This day is, I'm looking at it as significant, not because there are like exact aspects happening, but the moon is going to be in Scorpio, and the moon is going to be making a whole lot of aspects, conjuncting the south node, opposing Uranus, squaring Saturn, trining the sun, and trining Neptune. This is likely to be a very, very deep emotional day, and there could be some very surprising things that are happening. There could be some emotional upsets that are really going on July the 9th. So I wanted to mention that day as well. On the 13th, July 13th, we have our full moon in Capricorn. This is going to be in a trine with the nodes. So this is activating, and also Uranus there as well. This is activating this Uranus North Node conjunction that we have going on, even though Mars isn't there yet. And this full moon is likely to really, really shed some light on what we need to detach ourselves from, what we need to move away from, and the direction that we want to take things now. We are likely to be seeing pretty clearly where we have been being dominated, deceived, manipulated, overpowered, abused, and coming to a point where we are not willing to engage in that anymore. And we're likely to, there could be some very intense, powerful fights, discussions, debates, arguments that are playing out over the course of this full moon. And again, Cancer and Capricorn, it's having a lot to do with our genuine needs, or our family, our like the home, the mother, the place of origin, roots, things happening behind closed doors. These are the things that are likely to be highlighted with the full moon that's happening on the 13th. Now, we've made it to the 13th, and we are about to start the second half of the month, and things, like I said, are really, really heating up. There's a lot that is playing out over the second half of the month. Starting on the 16th, we have a Sun-Mercury conjunction. Mercury, Sun are going to be coming cazimi, and that's another thing. Mercury is coming into a conjunction with the Sun throughout the course of July, and they say when Mercury is burned in the rays of the sun, when Mercury is combust, we are missing a vital piece of information. So that is also something that may be sort of playing into whatever is going on throughout the course of the month, but we are likely to gain some insight into that on the 16th when Mercury and the sun come into exact alignment. On the 17th, we have the sun forming an exact square to Neptune. The moon will be there as well, and we also have Mercury in exact opposition to Pluto. This is busting through some illusions that have been causing us to surrender our power, or this is some type of manipulation, deception, coercion, like projection of illusion or fantasy for the point of regaining control over the mind in some type of a way. The 18th, we have Venus moving into the sign of Cancer. This is another shift. She will be joining Mercury and the sun. We're going to have lots of Cancer energy playing out at this point in time. Huge emphasis on, again, like the home, the family, love, nurture, empathy, compassion, very emotional energy that we're going to have going on when we have Venus, the sun, and Mercury all in the sign of Cancer. Just wanting that affection, wanting to be in the field, self-care, like this type of stuff taking a prominence for sure. But this like more extreme Cancer energy is actually only going to last for one day, because on the 19th, Mercury is going to move into Leo. Mercury is moving so fast right now, you guys, which means that thoughts are moving fast, information is moving fast, things are changing very, very quickly. Mercury is literally only in the sign of Cancer for like 2 weeks and then moves into Leo, and that's happening on the 19th. Again, this is shifting things again in terms of the way our mind is working, and we are really going to likely to be fired up at this point in time. And Mercury moving into Leo, this is sort of like priming the mental field for all of this Mars, fire, Uranus conjunction energy that is coming, because Leo also is a sign that is square to Taurus, where the Mars North Node Uranus conjunction is happening. So Mercury entering the sign of Leo is getting our mind sort of fired up for whatever is about to be happening. Passion, courage, strength, loyalty, motivation, creativity as well. Very, very, very highly creative period of time if we are tapping into that end of the spectrum in terms of the octaves of this energy. On the 20th, we have the sun coming into an exact opposition with Pluto. This is some of these major power struggles that may be coming up. The sun in Cancer, again, home, family, what are our needs versus Pluto in Capricorn, power and control dynamics, government, establishment, authority, and like suppressive or oppressive rules, regulations that are at odds with the needs of the human collective, essentially. On the 23rd, the sun will also move into the sign of Leo with Mercury, and Mercury simultaneously will be forming an exact trine to Jupiter and Aries. This is probably a big information day, and people are likely to really be speaking their mind, speaking their passion, speaking their truth in some very assertive ways on the 23rd. On the 26th, we have a Venus black moon conjunction. We're in black moon energy, and we are also going to have Mercury in a square to Mars. There could be some less than pleasant conversations or dialogues or speeches, interactions, people saying some pretty hostile stuff perhaps going on the 26th. On the 27th, we have Venus and the black moon coming together. This is both sides of the feminine aligning up, joining, fusing, uniting. And I feel like this is going to have some type of like extra prominence or significance because Venus, remember, is the ruler of Taurus, where this Mars-Uranus North Node conjunction is forming, is building. And with her in the conjunction to the black moon, financial stuff, you guys, partnership stuff. Again, anything that is not in alignment with truth and authenticity and integrity and what is conducive to organic growth is probably not going to be going well at this point in time. The 28th, this is when we have our new moon. And that new moon is going to be in the sign of Leo, and it's also going to be in a trine to Jupiter. This is a very expansive energy. This is going to be a wild new moon because aside from being in the trine to Jupiter, which, Jupiter expands energy, Mercury is also going to be in an exact square to this Uranus-Mars North Node conjunction for our new moon. So we have, at the point in time of the new moon on the 28th, Mars has not yet moved into exact alignment with Uranus and the North Node, but it is so close. And to have Mercury, news, information, ideas, communication, speech, talking, thinking, things going back and forth in the exact square at the moment of the new moon, wild information, conflicts, fights, debates. And I dropped my pen, happening all month long. Very intense new moon, especially with it being in the trine to Jupiter as well. This is huge. Then on the 29th, we have the moon in Leo is going to be forming a square to Mars, Uranus, and the nodes of the moon, activating by square that conjunction of planets. Although it is still not exactly exact, it is so close. This could be a very combustible, dynamic day with the moon activating this conjunction by square in the sign of Leo. The 30th, the nodes move into exact alignment with Uranus at 19 degrees of Taurus. The nodes of the moon rule destiny and karma, the future and the past, where we're going, where we've been, the next phase of growth, and what we need to let go and release ourselves from in order to get there. With the nodes of the moon, and in Taurus and Scorpio, they also represent a karmic detox, a release from the limitations of the past so that we can get back and where we've been surrendering our power out of any sense of lack inside, so that we can get back into alignment with the truth of our value, the truth of our worth, the truth of the resources that we hold within us, and tap that potential and become more self-sufficient and more self-reliant. The overall theme of the transition that is going on all month long, from, like I said, outsourcing various aspects of our life to becoming more of the producer and fulfiller of those needs that we used to seek external fulfillment for. Oh gosh, guys. And then on the 31st, this is when we have Mars moving also into the conjunction. This is not, we don't start our day like this. Mars will move here in the later part of the day, but this is going to be a 2-day activation. Mars takes about 2 days to move a degree, and it comes exact on August 1st. We are starting August in the same energy that we are ending July in, and especially in combination with this very unbelievable new moon that we have coming up. August is primed for some very crazy happening stuff going on as well. But that's basically that, you guys. On the 31st, and it's not just that we have Mars moving into the conjunction on the 31st. On the 31st, we also have the sun coming into exact trine to Jupiter. Venus will be in exact square to Chiron, and the moon will actually be in Virgo, forming a trine to Mars, Uranus, and the North Node in the sign of Taurus. So the 31st is definitely like the biggest day of the entire month, but we are building into that all month long, and it starts off with some extreme intensity as well that just like snowballs essentially throughout the entire course of the month. And again, like, it is having to do with these Cancer, Capricorn, Moon, Pluto themes, and also these Mars, Venus themes. Mars in the square to Pluto, Mars in Aries, Mars, the pioneer, the warrior, the spiritual warrior, and then moving into Venus's sign, this Uranus, Mars, North Node conjunction happening in the sign of Taurus, ruled by Venus, and she's got a lot of aspects going on this month as well. Divine masculine, divine feminine, the home and the family, and taking back power. That is what this is translating into. Gaining the personal motivation, willpower, and inspiration to become more reliant, more self-sustaining, less needy upon what we can receive from the previously existing power and control dynamics, the way that society has been set up for us to function. We are, throughout the course of this month, likely to find ourselves in situations, or just sort of like seemingly randomly deciding that we want to start doing more for ourselves, that we want to be less reliant on society to meet our needs, that we want to take back our power in any little area that we can, whether it's like making our own bread, or like growing our own garden, or making money based on teaching other people skills that we have acquired, or like, instead of, buying things externally from like stores and stuff like that, like figuring out how we can make them ourselves, like little things like this, where we are realizing that we can do it ourselves, and that we don't need to be so reliant on external situations to provide for and support all of our needs. Like, these are the type of things that I feel like are playing out. So you guys, that's basically what I have to say for this July overview. Lots going on, lots happening, but ultimately I feel like it's boiling down to, like I said, like this month of rebellion and revolution, the reawakening of the collective, like, revolutionary spirit, home and family versus power structures, big changes in resources, finances, and supply chains, and a shift from outsourcing to producing. That is how I'm seeing it. That is what I think is coming at us. And I'm not going to lie and say that, it's going to be a peaceful month. I don't think it's going to be a peaceful month. I think there's going to be a lot of contention. Like, I think there's going to be a lot of fighting. I think there's going to be a lot of division. I think there's going to be a lot of confusion as well, and perhaps some like disorientation about things. But ultimately, the greater part of humanity is going to be seeking to embody some type of personal, authentic truth or realization that we are awakening to, or that we are coming to now. Uranus is the planet that rules awakening. It rules the Great Awakening, and being aspected by Mars in the North Node, this is a divinely aligned awakening as a result of the awakening of the inner warrior within the collective of humanity, and a willingness to fight for truth, and a willingness to fight for value as well, for personal potential. And anything, like I said, you guys, I feel like anything that is out of alignment with authenticity is going to have a real struggle making it through this next couple of months. I'm going to draw us a synchronicity card because I feel like we need a piece of advice or guidance to just sort of like be our guiding light or compass throughout the course of this period of time, because it could get pretty wild. Unbelievable. And the card that just came out, these are synchronicity cards, by the way. They are little messages from God, and they are by Janice Shellman. The card that came out, you guys, like, I feel like this is literally what I just got done saying. It says, be yourself. And that is what this is moving towards. That is what we are doing. We are getting back in alignment with the truth of ourselves, and we are no longer willing to surrender power or to sacrifice parts of ourselves in order to maintain some type of cohesion or security or positive relationship with an external power source. Like, we're just not doing it anymore. And the advice for us throughout the course of this entire month, what we need to remember, what we need to keep in mind, be yourself. It says, let nothing be done through strife or vainglory. Philippians 2:3. You must remain free from pretension. Do not try to fool anyone, particularly yourself. With true understanding comes humility, and you will do all for the glory of God, and great and wonderful blessings will come to you. What did I say, you guys? Nothing out of alignment with authenticity is making it through, and our job right now is to get in alignment with the truth of our own potential, with our authentic personal truth. And that is what is going to lead us on this path through the rest of this 222 year that is trying to help us become a magnet for what will truly bring us this soul fulfillment and this soul purpose as well, and help us make this transition into the age of Aquarius. So that's what I have to say, you guys, for our July overview. I hope I was able to provide something for you that can help you navigate this upcoming energy. We are in the time of the times right now, you guys. We are in the midst of a very real and significant paradigm shift. This is the period of time that we will look back at in the history books and be like, okay, that is when it really started. Like, that's when it started happening. And we're living through it right now, and we're talking about it in this moment. So very powerful point in time. Going to be real interesting to see what comes throughout the course of this month. And that's what I have to say, you guys. So I hope you liked this video. If you did like it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think that they would be interested and like this too. Leave me comments, you guys. I absolutely love your comments. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a website, and some other social media stuff. Those are in my description box below. And come back with me on, actually, you guys, I am not going to be making a video for Monday. I will be back on Tuesday. I just need a little bit of a break. The energy has been a little bit intense for me over the past couple of days as well. And honestly, I'm just tired and I need to like sleep in for a day. So I am going to take a 3-day weekend, and happy 4th of July, everybody. Speaking about the revolutionary spirit, hope everybody has a beautiful 4th of July weekend. And I will be back on Tuesday, which actually I think is the 4th of July, with that report. So have a beautiful weekend, everybody. And I will see you the next time I see you. Bye, guys.